Today's texts are shrouded in mystery, no doubt. In the Exodus story, literally so. Moses climbs Mount Sinai. Does anyone of our Sunday school kids in the room today, our current Sunday school kids, I realize we were all Sunday school kids at one time. Does any of our Sunday school kids remember why Moses is climbing up to the top of the mountain? Maybe.
To get the Ten Commandments from the stones.
Yes, to get the Ten Commandments. Absolutely. Absolutely. Moses went up onto the mountain, the holy place of God, to receive the Ten Commandments, God's instructions to the Israelites. What do you think, again for the Sunday school kids, what do you think those Ten Commandments teach them and us? What do the Ten Commandments teach us?
God's law.
God's laws. And what are God's laws telling us to do?
How to live.
How to live, right. Were you going to add something to that, Maeve? Or is it?
God.
Okay. You look like the wheels were turning, so I didn't want to leave you
I
out.
was thinking, but I didn't.
Okay. So, they teach us to love God with our whole being and to love our neighbors as ourselves. If you look at the Ten Commandments, the first 5 are really on how we should love God. The second 5 are on how we should live in love with our neighbors, right? You don't commit murder, you don't steal, you don't bear false witness against people, you don't covet what they have. Anybody know what covet means? Desire, jealousy. How many of us are like, oh, I really wish I had the latest game box, that would be so awesome. I know I have. We all do, right? We all want the latest and greatest things. I saw somebody with a nice Camaro, and I was thinking, that would be awesome to have one day. Then you can buy them used fairly reasonably, but thinking, boy, I wish I had one of those. And I'm thinking, why am I thinking that? Like, what do I need a Camaro for? Honestly, aside from, getting tickets and things like that. But yeah, like we all want the latest and greatest things. So it teaches us, the second 5 teaches how to live with one another. The first 5 teaches how to love God. And both of those go together in what it means to be what God created us to be. As Moses went up the mountain, the whole top of the mountain was covered with what? A thick cloud or smoke, right? And there was a weird light coming down from the top where the mountain was consumed with a fire. Yikes, can you imagine? Can you imagine being at the base of the mountain and seeing this whole mountain covered with smoke and there's flashing light and fire coming from the top of it? What would you think in that moment, aside from call 911? What would you think in that moment?
Heavy metal concert.
Heavy metal concert. Marilyn Manson must be up there, right? No, what else would you think?
Moses must be dead.
Moses ain't gonna make it. My goodness, the whole top of the mountain's on fire. The mountain was shrouded in mystery, and of course the mystery was that no one knew what was going to happen. And how do you think that made them feel?
Scared.
Scared. What's more, Moses went up there, as Craig rightly pointed out, and stayed for a month and 10 days. We hear 40 days and 40 nights, and it's somehow 40 days and 40 nights almost sounds like 40 hours. Oh, it's not that long. I fasted for 60 days. I know how long 40 days are, right? 40 days is a long time when you're going through a fasting or going through a wilderness experience or going through any kind of struggle or trial. 40 days can feel like an eternity. And especially when you're down at the base of the mountain looking up and having no clue if Moses is even still up there. This is the guy who God told how to lead us out of Egypt. This is the guy who's going to lead us to the promised land, and he's gone. There's no way he could be alive up on that mountain. Without food and water, for sure. But with that fire, surely this guy must have died. I mean, he went up with some water and some food, but the last 40 days, and even if he had lasted, surely he's lying there, like withering away, and now he's consumed by a fire. There's no way he's coming back down. We fear the unknown, don't we? How many of us like being uncertain? How many of us like not knowing what's going to happen next? We fear the unknown. And this was certainly true of the Israelites. The mystery was overwhelming them. Okay, God, could you cut back on the mystery just a little bit, please? The mystery was overwhelming them. In the gospel account, Jesus was also up on a mountain with his disciples. And as soon as that happens, they too are witnessing a mind-bending mystery. Now they're up there with him, so they don't have to worry about whether Jesus is dead or alive. They can see him there. That's better. But again, what happens in this story? Anybody?
They hallucinate.
They hallucinate, or they think they might be hallucinating, right? All of a sudden, Jesus is glowing like the sun. Can you imagine? Now, I've been outside when the sun shines on things and it picks up a little glow, but they're not talking about a little glow. This guy looks like he could be the sun itself. And they're kind of going like this, like Clappertine said, like, really? Like, am I seeing this? What did they put in the water before we climbed up here? You know, like, what is this? His face lights up like the dazzling sun, and he is transfigured, or, as transfigured means, he is transformed before their very eyes. He's no longer just the human Jesus that they knew and followed and loved and had hopes and anticipations for, but he's something other than that. He's transformed. His entire appearance becomes a brilliant white glow. What's more, to make matters even weirder, they see Moses and Elijah standing next to him having a conversation like they'd been there the whole time, right? Like this is no big news for anybody. Just come up and join, you know? They're seeing ghosts, in other words, right? They're seeing Jesus literally turn as white as a ghost, and they're seeing ghosts surrounding him. And they were all covered by a thick cloud, a bright cloud. As if Jesus wasn't bright enough and the ghosts weren't making them feel bright, right? They're now in a bright cloud. How many of you have been in a bright cloud before? I actually have. When you're flying and you go into a cloud, at the top of the cloud with the sun shining on it, it's quite bright, actually. So the cloud, with Jesus glowing like the sun, no doubt, is bright, right? And then they're followed. They're followed by the booming voice of God.
This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him.
And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their faces and were greatly afraid. But Jesus came and touched them.
Arise, and do not be afraid.
Did you catch that? They were overwhelmed by the mystery. First off, if I'm seeing what they were seeing, and a voice out of nowhere comes and shouts to me to listen to Jesus, I'm going to be scared too, let me tell you. Even with the hindsight, right? This is unlike anything they'd ever witnessed or experienced before. They had no clue what was going on. They had no clue what any of it meant. And they were overwhelmed by the mystery, by the unknown. And they fell to the ground afraid. But Jesus did what? Anybody catch what Jesus did?
Touched them.
He
Comforting.
touched them. How many of you have been going through a tough time in your life and someone just happens to notice you're sitting there quiet or you're crying or whatever the case may be, and and they touch you on the shoulder and say, is everything okay? How many of us have had that happen? How does that make you feel in the moment? Comforted, calm, like everything might be okay. Even if it lasts for that fleeting second of a touch, it makes something different and better than it was prior to it. Jesus touched them. He touched them and assured them that there was absolutely nothing to be afraid of. Now, of course, they still didn't know what was going to happen once they started walking down that mountain and toward Jerusalem. There was a lot to be afraid of, actually. But in that moment, he touched them and assured them, it's going to be okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. How awesome, right? I mean, this is awesome. This is the stuff that brings the Bible alive. The disciples were touched by the mystery. Jesus is the mystery, amen? Jesus is the one being revealed on top of the mountain, amen? Jesus is the one that they thought they knew, but knew nothing about, amen? The one who embodies the very presence of God. And their fears were cast aside. The fact is, we are not all that different from the Israelites or the disciples. We too are afraid of the unknown, of the uncertainty, of the mystery. Are we not? Last Sunday it was announced that starting in July, in fact June 11th is my last day here, I will no longer be the pastor here, but the pastor at First United Methodist Church in Newton. And I'm sure, if I remember correctly, some of your reaction just initially in hearing it was the same reaction I had when that position opened and I thought, oh my God, am I possibly going down this road now when I thought I was securely over here, right? I have no idea what lays before me. The future is exciting. I'm looking forward to the new opportunity and the new path that God is leading me down. But it is also unknown. Who knows what lays ahead there? Who knows what kind of things I'm going to face? Who knows what challenges will be there for me to meet? And not just for me. These fears aren't just for me, but they are for you as well. The future is exciting, yet it's unknown. Who will be appointed here? What will this mean for us as we move forward with our God-given vision that we've been working on over a year for? There is a lot of uncertainty. And the future is a mystery to us, is it not? And this is just one example. This is the most relevant example in the moment. But it's everywhere in our lives. Mystery. But remember that we, as Christians, embrace the mystery. In fact, let me rephrase that. We, as Christians, are embraced by the mystery. Amen? We have been touched by the mystery. Right now, Jesus Christ is reaching out to us, laying his hand upon us, and telling us, arise, and be not afraid. Arise, and be not afraid. Trust in the Christ. And know that what is mystery now, God will reveal to you. God will transfigure it before you, transform it before you. And it will be glorious. Amen? Amen. It doesn't matter what challenges you're here or not. Challenges exist whether you remain in this congregation or go off to Afghanistan somewhere to do mission work, right? Challenges exist no matter what phase of life we're in. Christ is with you. Christ has touched you. Christ is telling you there's nothing to be afraid of. Amen. Gracious God, we find ourselves in a season of transition from plentifulness, to a season of longing and emptiness. We find ourselves in the midst of a season of familiarity and security, to a season of the unknown and having to walk by faith. But Lord, these seasons remind us that we're always called to walk by faith and not by sight. We're always called to step out of the box, to be a little bit uncomfortable, and to trust in you. You have seen us through so many things in our lives. What's one more? Lord, so I ask that your peace and comfort be upon all of us as we go through this time together. That you give each of us peace, but you also give us courage. That you give each of us longing, but also fill us with trust. That you give to us mystery, but that we also are embraced by it. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.